Welcome to Grit and Grace, the place where grit shapes you, grace carries you, and friends walk beside you through it all. I'm Pam Rader, and along with my co-hosts Erin Payne and Brian Thiessen, we're here to laugh, cry, and tell the truth about what it means to be fully human. Think of us as your old friends. We share real stories, a little cowboy logic, and transformational tools. Because here's the thing, life's gonna kick your ass sometimes, but it'll also invite you to rise. And when you've got grit and grace and a few good friends, you will get through it all. So pull up a chair, grab your coffee, and buckle up. Welcome back to Grit and Grace. It's Pam Rader with my good friend Erin Payne.
Hello, everybody.
And we have kind of a sweet little inquiry for you today that might help you with some spring cleaning. It is spring. It's quite lovely out. But not just spring cleaning in your house, spring cleaning in your heart and in your mind to make space for something new. And I think this is really timely. I was just telling Erin that I did a thing this morning. I posted my 1.8 carat, it's really nice, engagement ring from my ex-husband
Sounds nice.
on Facebook Marketplace today. And originally I had thought I would keep it because it is nice and I like it and I chose it and it was a gift later on in our marriage. And I was really kind of attached to it in some ways. And I had girlfriends and my sister say to me, like, yeah, it's your jewelry. You keep it. And if you like it, like, you're probably not going to get another one like that. You should have it. So I sort of bought into that, but I felt weird wearing it. So then I looked at having it made into something else and it didn't quite feel right. And then my partner challenged me. He said, I don't care if you wear that thing, like wear it all you want. It doesn't bother me one bit. But you need to ask yourself, why aren't you ready to let go of it? Like you could sell that, put the money in an investment, or buy yourself something completely different, or take a little vacation. So what is it that has you clinging to that? Is there something that's not finished for you? Is there significance to it? And then he said, this is the thing. You know that expression, this broke the internet? This broke the internet in my brain. He said, or is it that your ego can't handle letting go of it? And I was like, no, that's not it. But what it did for me was spark the inquiry. One of the things I'm really grateful about in this work that we try to do to, you and I together, Erin, is we're not afraid of inquiry. We're not afraid to challenge ourselves and be like, what do I really think? We're not so attached. One of our things we're not so attached to is defending our rightness about things.
Mhm.
And so I started asking myself the question, like, what is it really? Because it should just be easy. Really, it should be a no-brainer. Why would I want to wear it again? And if it's going to sit in my jewelry box, then why wouldn't I sell it? But there was a little wobble there, a little pain. And when I sat down and I got really honest with myself, it was kind of sad. And it was really good to see. What I realized was this came to me on my 15th anniversary, and he left just before our 17th anniversary. So not long before we split up, really. And there was something in me that knew that he was gaslighting me. And there was something in me that had a sense that it wasn't all well. But on the surface, we got along so well. And I didn't really want to rock the boat. I didn't want to start over. And him giving me this ring that I'd always wanted felt like proof that I'd been chosen, proof of his fidelity, proof that he wanted to be in this with me. Now, I think that might be that way for most of us when we get an engagement ring. It's like proof that someone chose me, and there's something about that. But it's really like an ego trip, and it wasn't proof of anything. Turns out it might have been something to assuage his guilt. Just not the same thing at all. But even if it wasn't that, why do I need proof for the world to see that someone else chose me? And then I investigated the ego part. That one stung a little bit more. I took that question to heart. Can your ego handle it? And I was like, well, what did I make it mean about me? That I was important, that I was successful, that I had some kind of status. And as soon as I realized that, I was like, ew, That's just me trying to manage other people's perceptions of me through having this nice thing. That's not who I am, and I don't want to be that person. It's not that I can't have nice things, but really, those were the reasons why I wanted the ring. So why the fuck would I keep that ring? Because it's not who I am.
Mhm.
So, anyways, all of that to say, it got Erin and I thinking about all the things that we're attached to. Everything from grandma's china to meatball recipes to our kids' clothes from when they were babies. And like,
Yeah.
I think that there's some real power in us investigating why really am I holding on to this and who is it really for?
I mean, that is the ultimate question, right? It's like, what is the attachment? I have just had a relationship that I felt something was symbolic
Mhm,
and my partner didn't. And why is there an attachment to this thing, this piece of jewelry, when it clearly symbolizes something that I think is important? And he was just like, no, it's not important. It's just a thing.
mhm.
So I've just come out of a situation where something means something to someone else, and then the same thing doesn't mean anything to the other person. And it just like it got messy, I have to be honest.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was
Got
thinking. I was
messy.
really investigating this because I thought if it doesn't actually mean anything to me, then I can keep it, no problem. But when I
Hmm.
realized the meaning I
Oh,
was
that's
attached to and
interesting.
holding on to it, I was like, oh no, it's got to go. It's got to go because that's not who I want to be.
I don't think many people would do what you just said. If it means something and it makes me feel icky, I gotta let it go. Like, people keep shit around. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and they justify, rationalize, and defend it like, well, it's the last thing that asshole gave me, or like, or I
Yeah,
deserve to have it. But
I'm gonna put
really,
it on my
underneath,
bookshelf so I can look at it.
yeah. But if we get to
What?
like the status that we think it gives us, or the meaning of like what I meant to someone else, and we really examine that. I mean, here's the thing. You and I've been talking about this a lot lately. If we choose ourselves, why do we need to prove to the world that we're chosen by anybody else? Why do we even
Mhm.
need to be chosen by anyone else? It's nice and it's lovely, but if we choose ourselves, we don't need that, let alone do we need proof of that.
I literally cannot wait for the day that I don't feel like I need someone to choose me because I've chosen myself so much that I have a nice foundational padding that it doesn't matter what anybody else does.
Yeah.
And I'm close. I'm getting there. I'm getting
You
there. But
are. Yeah.
fuck.
Well, we're all a work in progress towards that, right?
Mhm.
But let's talk about some things that maybe some of our listeners can relate to. So, I have my grandma's china. Now, my grandmother had this blue Mikado china, and it has this whole big story to it. It was painted with cobalt during World War II, and when World War II came around, there was a lack of cobalt, so some of the designs on the plates are slightly lighter blue than the other ones because of the time that they were made. It is extremely valuable cash-wise because it's kind of a rare kind of china. My mother hated it, my sister hated it, and I loved it, and my grandma loved that I loved it. So
Mm.
I inherited it. So I have a 12 place setting of blue Mikado china that I pull out once every 2 years. It takes up an entire freaking cabinet in my house. I'm afraid to break the shit.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, I like it. And yeah, it's nice. But in reality, it's probably 10 grand worth of china sitting there that someone else might enjoy a lot. And I was thinking about what's just as we were talking about this, what's my attachment to it? And it really was that my grandmother was pleased that I liked the same thing as her.
Mhm.
And then if I get rid of it, am I, betraying my grandma or not honoring the family line or whatever that is? And all of that is made up because my grandmother was a very smart, practical woman. And if she thought I could have $10,000 in investments instead of her china, she'd be like, girl, sell the china.
Yeah, go do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense. So much
Yeah.
sense.
But we don't get there if we don't ask the questions, and then we hang on to all this stuff.
Mhm.
What's
I'm
some
just
stuff that you got hanging on in your house?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the teacups and the and the plates right now that are in my china cabinet, and I actually did pretty good. I didn't when my grandmother and my great aunt passed away, I didn't take on too much stuff, but, my mom felt like she had to take it all. And then slowly over the years, she's like, "Hey, like, do you want this? It's okay if you don't, but do you want this?" And so, like, she's trying now to pass it down. And it just makes me think about, like, all of our stuff that we just can't take to the grave, you know? It just what ends up happening to it. But
I
I
I do
have
I do believe things have energy, and I do like the
yes.
idea of keeping a sentimental item or 2 of that's meaningful to us to remind us of a person that we loved. Like, I'm not suggesting we just get rid of all our stuff like that, but I think we have a lot of that stuff. It's like guilt. Mom
Oh,
doesn't wanna give
yeah.
away these teacups, and so but they're my grandma's. I can't just donate them to the thrift shop. I
Mhm.
feel guilty, so now I'm looking at them every day and thinking, "That's not my style. I don't really want them there," or whatever. But if we
Yep.
never question it, we just wind up with more shit that our kids have to get rid of.
Yeah. I've also had a partner who, quote unquote, has kept something from everyone he's known. And I'm just like, okay, that's
Oh,
interesting. And it's all displayed on his bookshelves. And it's just like, why do you need that?
that's
Why do you need
interesting.
that? Yeah. So for
Yeah,
me,
that would be interesting to dive into that because I'm thinking if I did that, I think, and I mean, I can't speak for anybody else, but just as you said that, what kind of came into my awareness is somehow I'm validating my own significance or existence by I've been connected to all these people. It feels like I'm validating myself. Like I
yeah,
was important to all these people or I had some connection. And so there's this external proof that I matter.
that's fascinating. Yeah, absolutely. And my mind goes to if I had a whole bunch of stuff from everybody that I know in my past relationships and stuff, like how uncomfortable would my new partner feel in that? Like,
Right?
I don't know. Anyways, but I have 2 rings from ex-boyfriends from in my 20s, and I remember thinking, "I can't just throw these out." So I kept the one I kept of the relationship that I was in was quite abusive, and it was my one abusive relationship that I had to escape or it would have turned physically abusive, and I just felt like I shouldn't throw out such a nice ring because there I wasn't giving it to anybody. I might go throw it out now, actually. And
Don't
then the
throw it
other
out,
one
but
was
like, can you get rid of it? Can you sell it? Can you clear the energy in it and give it to someone who it might, like whatever. But why do you think you hung on to it? Was it proof that you were, what comes to mind is just like, if he was abusive to me, then he was telling me I'm not valuable, but he gave me this thing that proves that I have value.
yes, totally. I'm kinda just coming to this in real time right now, but this is not woe is me, okay? But I don't get rings from men. I don't get tokens from men, and that's okay. Like, it's fine, but I got one finally, right? And
Mhm.
my sisters, where they men would dote on them and give them gifts and my one sister's been married, my younger sister's getting married, I'm
Mhm.
not married, I've never been married, and I'm not trying to be like, "Woe is me," but, like, I got a ring, and it's just
Someone
coming to
gave
me
me
now.
one too. I must be valuable.
Yeah, it made me feel finally, like, valuable. I'm just realizing that now, no matter what kind of piece of shit he was.
But isn't it interesting that we don't we had a conversation because my partner was on a totally different topic, but basically asked you, why do you think so little of yourself? And he's asked me the same thing about certain things. And I was like, I don't think so little of myself. But when we go back to moments like that, like in that moment, you thought you didn't think enough of yourself to not be with that guy. But then you take this token like in exchange for I'll show the world that I'm valuable, and I've done it too. I've been in so many like my 15-year-old self was in an abusive relationship who gave me jewelry all the time, and I would justify that I couldn't leave because he gave me all these nice things,
Oh,
and look
yeah,
at how
yeah.
nice he is to me. But I realized I didn't think enough of myself to just be like, screw your jewelry, screw you, and get out. I used the jewelry as proof that he valued me
Mm.
because I couldn't believe some of the things he would do to me or say to me.
Yeah, that question, I don't wanna go off on a tangent, but that question really brought something up in me, and it was like, "No, I feel like I value myself. I know I love myself, and I think highly of myself." But what wasn't happening is I wasn't doing the action that I choose myself.
Mhm.
So it's way underneath the surface, way down under there, and it's like, if I valued myself, this is what I would choose. And so it goes back to what you were saying about once we choose ourselves enough, we don't need other people to see that we're chosen,
Yes, and that's
if
where I
that makes
really
sense.
got to, like, I feel like I choose myself, I feel like I'm following my own heart and my path, and I'm doing what I wanna do and all of that, and that's why I need to get rid of this ring because it represented a time when I clearly thought I chose myself, but I was relying on external symbols that I was chosen, which tells me that that belief was surface for me.
Hmm,
Like
yeah.
this idea, it was a concept, but it wasn't a creation. And now in the act of getting rid of this, it's a creation. And even, with my grandma's china, as I think that probably my mom's gonna listen to this and have a heart attack. But anyways, like I might just sell it because I don't have nieces that want it or granddaughter, like whatever that want it. And what, then pass it down to them that they have to get rid of it and they have a big cabinet in their house to. What about baby clothes and things? Like, I kept baby clothes and baby stuffed animals and things, and I just recently I have 2 sons that are their partners are about to give birth, their wives. This year, I'm gonna be a grandma twice, which is pretty exciting.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about the identity of a grandma. My kids are calling me Gramala Anderson. I like that. Yeah, it's good, right? Yeah. Anyways, but I give them the stuff and they're like, "Great, now I have to get rid of it. Thanks, mom."
Mhm, mhm, going back to that, yeah, yeah. I have some baby stuff too for my sons, but I can't even imagine getting rid of that
Yeah.
right now, you
Well,
know?
it's funny because I gave my youngest son a box
Why?
of stuff from that I kept his pictures from the fridge and all that when he was a kid and projects from school. And I gave that to him and he took some pictures and sent them to me. And then he's like, "Yeah, I hope you don't mind that I threw all of that out. It was fun going down memory lane for a minute, but I don't know what the hell you want me to do with that. I don't know why you kept all that."
It's like they're scratching drawings. I gotta put them all in my fridge right now.
Yeah.
And I actually systematically throw batches of it out so my 10-year-old doesn't see, and I hide it in the fridge.
Right? Like when they're out of the house, you throw a bunch out and you just put
Yeah.
one new one on the fridge because we want
Yeah,
them to
yeah.
feel like we value them instead of them just learning to value themselves.
Right, and so this is happening in my 10-year-old.
Yeah.
"Mom, you have to keep that project from school." "Oh, you mean this one?" It just looks like, "What the fuck is this?
Yeah, the garbage bag that you cut out to look like a rhinoceros?
Is
Great,
that a
awesome.
cloud?"
Yeah, is that how
But even
is that
him
a
at
turd
10 is
emoji?
he's 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 attached to it at 10.
Yeah, because
10.
it's like proof of worth, right? We're always
Yes.
looking for love externally.
Mhm,
That raises something really big, like, we're sort of like, we're conditioned for that
mhm,
from childhood, and that's so interesting. I now I'm looking at how I raised my children a little bit differently and thinking, I wonder if I had said, "What do you think about it? What's beautiful to you about it? What's important? And I'm glad you like it, and, you can put it on the fridge if you want, but I love you for you. No, it's not about what you do or produce or" like, that's so interesting. Not that there's
mhm.
anything wrong with us going, "What a pretty picture. Oh my
No,
god,
of
I have to
course.
hang that on my fridge." But anyway, they like, this idea of attachment to our value, it sort of speaks to other-based esteem. So, again, if other people see this fancy ring or they see that I have nice things and they tell me that I'm good, then I must be good.
Mhm,
Attribute-based esteem, if I have more things, then I must be successful and therefore I'm good. But none of those are real self-worth.
no.
So a lot of our attachments to things are based on us trying to bolster our self-esteem through acquisition and connection to external. things, other people and other, my grandma thinks I'm good because I like the same china as her.
Yep.
But my worth has nothing to do with whether I like my grandma's china or hold my grandma's china or sell my grandma's china. Like, none of that means anything unless I say it does.
Mhm. Yeah. Why do I feel like I need my partner to have some symbol of me on his bookshelves too?
Yeah.
It's like I'm trying to audition for a role I've already got.
Whoa. Yeah.
It's just
Right?
it's ugh.
And then we get attached to ways of relating, like the way that somebody, the way we were accustomed to being loved or talked to, or, people talk about love languages, for instance, and they go, "Oh, my love language is physical touch, and my partner doesn't like to do that." And I'm like, "No, your love language just shows you where your wounds are. You probably weren't touched enough as a child, or you weren't shown physical affection, or you were told it was weak. And so now you have a gaping hole there, but that's for you to fill. That's not
Yes.
for other people to fill." So even things like love languages, I think, are somewhat harmful in terms of us attaching to the ways we think we should be loved.
And someone else doing it for us.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. I just put a picture of I think my 2-year-old self on social media, and I was like, this little girl needs to know that I will always choose her and that
Yeah.
I will never abandon her again, and I fucking won't.
Yeah.
I'll tell
Yeah.
you that for free.
And then you're not gonna need a symbol on a bookshelf,
And then I won't need a symbol on a
an
bookshelf.
old band T-shirt from your high school boyfriend. I probably got one of those down in the basement, by the way. That's why, like, actually, I'm
Exactly.
pretty sure I have a hockey jersey in the basement from my high school boyfriend. I think I need to get
Man,
rid of that.
hockey
I would
jersey.
have to find the box, but yeah. I have boxes of books from university, and I don't know, I think I needed to prove that I went to university, but I never finished university, so who cares?
Look at this, it's a symbol of my unfinished university.
Right? I was smart enough to go to university, everyone, look at me, like,
And I chose to not continue.
oh my god.
That's hilarious.
There's some small and kind of, it's like seemingly benign things that we do, and for me, it shows up often in recipes. I talked about meatballs earlier, which is super funny, but, like, the way we've always done something, and then someone comes in and says, "Oh, hey, have you tried this?" Or they try to change your recipe, and you grow 3 heads and, like, have a hissy fit and just about break down a marriage over it or something because it's not
Right.
the way we make meatballs. What is it really? Is it the attachment to being right? Is it the nostalgia of it? Is it so I'll give you an example. I make, like, the world's best homemade mac and cheese. It's so good. I'm a pretty good pasta maker all around.
Yes, you are.
But, like, the mac and cheese, my kids love the way I do it, and I've been always do it that way, and I kinda made it up. Nobody taught me that. But it makes me feel kinda special, I think, that my kids love it, and they're like, "Yeah, mom, make your mac and cheese," you know?
Mhm.
And one time my ex-husband, he's making some cheese sauce on the stove, and he's following this recipe, and he's putting this stuff in. I was like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm trying a new recipe for mac and cheese. It's got this smoked thing in it and this and that." I was like, "What are you doing?" And I, like, literally I couldn't be, "Oh, that's interesting," or whatever. My kids are coming for dinner, and they're expecting my mac and cheese as a side dish. What are you doing? And I got, like, I lost my ever-loving mind. So it gets worse. We're having dinner, and I say to the kids, "This mac and cheese is bullshit." And then I get my kids on my side, and they're like, "You're never allowed to make mac and cheese again. We came here for mom's mac and cheese." It was so
Mac and
stupid.
cheese is bullshit.
It's bullshit. So, but I think about it, I'm like, "Why am I so attached?" Well, really, it's nothing to do with the mac and cheese. I wanted the admiration or adoration of my children as proof that I'm a good mom, that they see that I love them. It's a
Mhm.
symbol of that.
Mhm.
And when you point it out that way, it's ridiculous.
Fuck, you're tanking how I think everything's a symbol. You're tanking it right now as we speak, tanking it.
And I do believe in symbols and nostalgia and having the, connection, all of that. But also when we really examine why we're so freaking attached to certain things, I think if you don't find yourself ridiculous, you're probably not looking hard enough.
Yeah, I mean, what is underneath that, right? Sometimes it's a matter of say it feels like certainty for
Mhm.
me or something. Or like if that symbolizes like that there's not like you choose someone else, so there's not enough for me to go around and I don't feel safe. And then it's like this fucking thing is making me feel unsafe. What
Yeah.
is that?
Well,
Ridiculous.
even when we teach yoga, I'll notice people, for instance, step into triangle this way, and then they go at it the way they've always done it. And
Yep.
I'll call them out and say, "Why are you so attached to doing it your way? Like, is there something to discover here? And do you have it that's the right way or the only way and other ways are wrong? And why are you so connected to that?" I think it comes down to identity, where we're pretty sure who we are, and part of who we are is we know the right way to do certain things. But the problem with that thinking is if somebody else tries to make mac and cheese different than you, they have to be wrong. And that's going to cause division.
That it has to be bullshit.
Yeah, it's
This
bullshit.
Jesus bullshit. I love that. I wish I could have seen that.
This is my most unevolved selves for everyone to see on display.
Yeah, it
For all
happens
the
to
work
Pam
I've
too,
done,
everyone.
this is bullshit is what came out of my mouth. Yeah.
This mac and
And
cheese
then
is
get my
bullshit.
kids to put their dukes up for me. Like, wow,
Right.
good mom. Yeah.
And they did, they're lovely boys.
Beautiful boys. Yes, they did. Yeah. And so we effectively shamed my ex-husband for trying to make macaroni and cheese. And
Oh
so
my
here
gosh.
we are.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Looking back, maybe there were more causes of my divorce than I think.
Mhm. Yeah, could be the mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
one thing I have kept, and this is just continues to come back to, oh, finally a boy, like, gives me a token and
Mhm.
chooses me, but I have kept letters from past
Mm.
boyfriends. So I do have a box of love letters from past boyfriends. Do I ever go in and read them? No. And when I do, if I ever do, it's just because I've come across the box and I just like I'm looking out of interest and I still have that thing there.
That's so interesting. I have that too. And it's like from high school era, right?
Yeah.
For me, back when love letters were a thing. And I think I still do have a box of that. And I have to say that it is kind of weird, like given the context of our conversation today, I think I would have justified it before, but like, why? Like, what? Again, proof that I was chosen, proof that I was loved.
Mhm.
Now, on the other end of that spectrum, though, I do have some letters from my grandmother, and I love holding something that she held in her hand and
Mhm.
seeing her particular handwriting.
Mhm.
That makes me feel close to her. It's not about being chosen. It's like really remembering her and like this a sweetness around it.
Mhm.
And I like possessing those things.
Mhm.
I don't need a whole bunch. I think I have a couple of letters from her. But there's something about she's not here anymore, but she wrote that with her own hand.
Yeah, that's sweet. Holding
Yeah.
something that she held.
Yeah,
That
and
is
so,
really sweet.
and that really is sort of the truth for me, but I think after this conversation, I'm gonna do a ruthless inventory of my house
Mhm.
and even my clothing. There's things that I've bought that I don't get rid of because I think, "Well, that cost a lot of money." I bought a coat in Paris that I love, and I've worn it twice in 3 years. And I hang on to it because I bought it in Paris, so I can tell people I bought it in Paris. I don't know, like,
That's in my
clearly,
closet.
it's not a favorite thing to wear, like,
Mhm.
why? Again, it's a status thing or a I have jewelry from every trip that my ex-husband and I went on. He would always buy me a ring or a bracelet or something, and I've got a whole box full of really cool jewelry from all over the world. I'm gonna get rid of it all.
Mm.
And not because of any vindictive thing, I'm like, "I wanna make new memories, and I wanna make space for new memories," and
Yeah.
it was a tradition that we had, and I got some nice things, but I also have rings and jewelry that I bought myself when I went to Greece. I bought myself a ring when I was in Paris. I bought myself a ring when I was in Spain, and I can keep those because those are my memories of Spain, but the things he
Mhm.
bought me, I'm gonna let go of that because I realize I had an attachment to don't I have a sweet husband? Look what he always does for me, AKA he keeps choosing me and showing the world that he chooses me.
Yeah, the little symbols of being chosen.
Little symbols of being chosen, and I don't need symbols of being chosen. I was thinking about that in my current partnership. I was like, I don't need, my ex-husband used to bring me flowers all the time, and, even my second ex-husband, Rob was really good about that. Gesture guys, gesture guys.
Mhm.
Rob couldn't communicate to save his life, and Chris was lying through his teeth the whole time. So what do those gestures even mean, and why would I hang
Mhm.
on to those? I have a partner that tells me the truth, that shows
Yes.
up, that says, "Watch my feet, not my lips.
Mhm.
Let
That
me show
values you,
you." Yeah, and I'm
that
like, I don't
validates
need
you.
any proof of that for anybody.
Mm.
I just I have it there right in front of me for me to see. What's the most ridiculous thing that you've ever held on to that you don't wanna let go of or didn't wanna let go of prior to this
Gosh, the most
conversation?
ridiculous thing that I don't wanna let go of? Probably I got this pair of shoes that I loved, and I got them in Switzerland. So it's kind of the same thing as you with the jacket, except I bought them a size too small.
Oh, no.
And I told myself then they're amazing. They're these blue shoes. They're like, uh, they're flats with a pointed toe, and they're this beautiful blue color with, like, this blue sort of buckle on it, and they're amazing. And I still have them. 'em. They're in my closet right now. I bought them 6 years ago or something, and they're too small. I can't get this is just coming to me. I can't get rid of them because I got them in Switzerland.
It's like a status thing, it's so weird, right?
I tried to wear them once to an auction I was working. I had to take them off in within an hour because they pinched my feet so bad, and I still have them. I still have them. I'm just trying to
So,
think, like, is there anything more ridiculous than
think
that? I
about
don't know.
this. Okay, so let's talk about on the other side of this attachment. Like, when I sell this ring, I now get to go, do I want to invest that money and watch it grow? Do I want to buy myself a different piece of jewelry that I choose for myself that I love? Do I want to take a little weekend trip? Do I, like it frees up this new possibility for me. If you were to sell those shoes on Marketplace, you could go guilt-free, go buy yourself a new pair of shoes that you love that fit you,
Guilt
and you would
free.
still have the memory of having purchased those in Switzerland and them being the reason why you have this nice pair of shoes that you can now wear.
Still have the memory. I don't even remember when I purchased. Like, I don't remember. It's just I don't know. I think that might be the most ridiculous thing. How about you? What's your most ridiculous thing, or have you already said?
Oh, no, I don't know. My most ridiculous thing. Oh, okay. So here's the most ridiculous thing, and it's funny. My mom had a Yamaha one-piece snowmobile suit when we were growing up, and she was so
Whoa.
tiny, like little teeny waist, and it's like 1975, man, and it's like it looks like right out of 1975 with the big hood and the fur around it and everything. It doesn't fit me. It's too short, but I keep it in the closet because every year at Christmas, we have, like, kind of a bet, and if someone's kind of an ass, they have to wear the suit and go out and shovel the driveway. It's this weird nostalgia thing that I create,
Oh, that's amazing.
and so it's kind of funny, I guess, but, yeah, ridiculous things that
That's
I held
hilarious.
on to. I would say, oh gosh, I have, some stupid things, like, I have a cowboy hat from, that's been, like, trampled on, and it's completely twisted and sideways, but Alan Jackson signed it. Like, who cares?
It's like
I can't even wear it. It doesn't even look like a hat.
yeah, it's twisted, it looks like a
I should burn it in
telescope.
the fire. Like, but there's this status thread. Oh, but Alan Jackson said, who cares? He's a man with a pen. Like,
Yeah,
yeah. So maybe the invitation here today for our listeners is simply to, you don't need to do a big spring cleaning, but maybe take a wander through your house and take a few minutes to really think about, why do I keep this thing or these things? And who am I trying to please by keeping it, or what am I trying to prove? And what would open up for me if I could let go of that?
yeah, and I think another really good question is, like, why can't I let go of that? Like,
Because it's
why
okay if
do
you're not ready.
Yeah, but it's like, why do I feel like I need to hang on to that?
Yeah, if
What is
you're
that need is that
rationalizing,
giving me?
justifying, and defending, really, why are you hanging on to it?
Mhm,
As we're talking about this, I think about, my dad has one of those, like, kind of original they used to call them Indian sweaters. It's probably First Nation sweater now, I don't know if the term has changed, but they're really yeah, it has a beautiful pattern in it, it's real wool, and he was getting rid of it, and I said, "Dad, you can't get rid of that. I That's all the memories from my childhood." And it's hanging in my closet, and when I go out to the campfire, I put it on, and if I'm really honest about it and I'm not ready to get rid of that, and I probably never will, and that I might pass down to my children, because for me, that represents a connection to my father.
mhm,
And it's probably an unhealthy, ridiculous connection like all the other ones, and I'm not ready or willing to let go of that.
mhm.
But there's lots of things in my house that I could let go of.
Yeah, I can get rid of. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the biggest thing that an attachment to an idea, a person, or an object has cost you?
So, I have gotten attached to people in unhealthy ways, I think,
Mhm,
the most.
mhm,
And what happens for me is and this is multi-layered, and I don't even, I don't even really know what all the layers are, but if I'm like, I've left people, I've left men in my life, and I've been left. It's what neither here nor there, but when I have left, I go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And before I had the awareness around it that I have a disorganized attachment, insecure, disorganized attachment, before I had awareness of it, like some of them got really, really messy. And one I'm just remembering now, like lasted like a year of going
mhm.
back and leaving and going back and leaving and going back and leaving. That shit cost me a year of peace, a year of, that's just like I'm no longer choosing myself whatsoever at all in those moments. So self-trust eroded. I would say that that kind of thing is the biggest cost that I've had in terms of attachment, because it just came to my mind, right? Like that's yeah. As for things, I'm actually pretty good at getting rid of stuff, but and that is at its essence, I'm not worthy. I'm scared to be by myself, I'm not choosing myself, or like I realized recently, like when I choose others, my nervous system feels settled. And it's
Yeah, because 'cause you're used
scary
to
for
that.
me. Yeah, it's scary for me to choose myself. It makes me have a nervous system reaction. And so it was just me bouncing like ping pong or whatever that
Yeah.
game is, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I feel bad for my ex. This was 15 years ago, but
Yeah, yeah.
still,
Well, when we look
it's
at,
just
like, the Buddhist philosophy, it talks about non-attachment as being the pathway to alleviating suffering. It's our
yes.
attachment to the Zen say that all suffering is caused in the distance between the way it is and the way we think it should be. And the
Mhm,
way we think it should be is an attachment, which is deeply connected to our identity.
mhm,
And if people do things differently, they see things differently, they have different likes or dislikes on us, we're attached to what we like because it says something about who we are. Just like my ring is a symbol for that.
mhm,
It's saying something about who I am. And so, in order to relinquish attachment, we have to be willing to outgrow and relinquish, sort of shed the skin of old identities, which is not an easy thing for a lot of people.
that's
Yeah.
right. It isn't.
But in the wise words of Chris Christopherson, who wrote Bobby McGee, he said, freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. So if we're interested in freedom, then the place to look is, what am I holding on to? What am I attached to?
What am I? Yeah.
Yeah. Because on the other side of letting go of those attachments is freedom. Just like I described with the ring, there's the freedom to buy something, the freedom to go somewhere, the freedom to do something different.
Mhm,
There's freedom in the letting go.
mhm. Create space.
Yeah. Create space for something new.
And sometimes that alone is a good enough reason to do
Yeah.
it. Just like, I don't know if this is the right choice necessarily, but I'm gonna make it so that I have some space. to figure out where I go from there. I
Well,
feel like I'm right in the thick of that right now, actually.
think about people who, like, their house burns down and they lose
Oh,
everything.
oh my
And
gosh.
they start over and,
Mhm.
they talk about how maybe their Christmas decorations they miss or whatever, but life goes on. It makes space for something new. They get to choose things from the identity that they're at right now and not dragging past versions of themselves into the present.
Yeah,
And so there
that
is
feels heavy.
grief in letting go of things from the past, but grief is part of life.
Mhm.
And so maybe in embracing the grief of letting go, we can also embrace the exhilaration and the excitement of creating something new, the wonder and the curiosity and the joy that comes from exploring the unknown.
Mm. That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
I still don't think I'm gonna let anybody else make mac and cheese their way though, Erin.
I wanna try some of this mac and cheese.
It's pretty darn good.
Next time I come visit you, I wanna have some.
This has been informative for you. I hope it challenges you to think about some things that you're attached to in a new way. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter to me and Erin or Erin and me, Erin and I. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not attached to the grammar. It doesn't
Grammar, yeah. I'm
just
not
all your
attached to the
stuff that's
grammar.
piled up in your garage. And it might spark a new chapter for you to start thinking about um the freedom that could be on the other side of some of the things you're attached to. And if you'd like some
Absolutely,
help
that's beautiful.
to dive into that, we invite you to consider working one on one with us or come to our Grit and Grace retreat happening May 21st to the 24th in 100 Mile House, BC. It is going to be an extraordinary 4 days. You can find
Extraordinary.
out more at pamrader.com.
Amazing. Come to the retreat, it's gonna be so fun. We'd love to see you there.
Yeah. Until next time, everyone.